reaction to losing at Napoli last week. You know, whether it was just a hiccup and they'll still march on towards the title, or whether it will affect their confidence on the way they play today. I mean, they've both been busy this week in Europe. AC Milan played Anderlecht and still didn't score again, and Parma had that important game against Benfica.
Well, here's an early flourish from Parma, with Brolin there threatening up front. Brolin wearing the 11th shirt for Parma today, which isn't what we were told, but they've obviously had a change around. Anyway, this is Zola. And safely plucked out of the air by Rossi, who's had 20 clean sheets in Serie A this season, 28 in all competitions. Phenomenal record. Massaro's challenge, beaten though by Belleri, helped out by Sensini, who's wearing 7. Zorato de Kripa. Obviously, Scala, the coach, that's Massaro injured there. Obviously, Scala has decided to have a look at an alternative combination up front, with Asprilla not available for the second leg against Benfica.
When you look at this game, Peter, and you think there's no Asprilla, there's no Papin, there's no Savicevic, you know, you tend to think, well, you know, what's going on at this time of the year? You want your quality players. I know Savicevic has got a little bit of a knock, but having seen Papin last week, and he didn't play well, you tend to think they'll give him another run in the team, and they've taken him out again. They do kind of swap their players around quite a lot.
Well, Massaro has a front-running role today alongside Simone. They don't often play together up front. Normally one of them is on the bench. But this time, the Romanian, Lana Choiu, who did play midweek, has been left out. And Brian Laudrup is also in the side, and he did play in the first half against Anderlecht, did well, but then was taken off feeling ill at the interval. On by Donadoni. This is Albertini. Free kick, though, given to Milan. They've taken it quickly, and in fact, it wasn't even awarded to them. Today's referee, Robert Anthony Boggi, who, as the name may suggest, is of, in fact, American descent, but comes now from Salerno near Naples. On by Zorato, back in the side today with Peen on the bench. Here's Sensini, throwing it through down for Brolin. Zola's at the far post, and curled just beyond him. Zola will have the main front-running role with Brolin today. Two small but very effective players, of course. This is Maldini. Now Desai, given away though to Apolloni. Brolin. On by Sensini for Brolin again. Really dazzling sunlight in Milan. Simone. Energetic figure of Massaro sending Laudrup away. Simone in the middle. Beyond him, though, and will be collected by Sensini.
I think that might be a sign of what's to come. Get the ball in the back of the Parma defence for people like Brian Laudrup to run onto.
There's tremendous pace, Laudrup, very similar in style to his brother Michael. And both, of course, now back together in the Danish team. Donadoni. Now Desai, always seems to be now the first of the foreigners on the team sheet. Hasn't missed a league game since he came from Marseille back in November. Massaro chasing here. Well, he's been an explosive form up front, Massaro, and he's forced his way back, of course, into the Italian national team as well. Came on in a recent international against Germany as a sub, and he's just been named in the latest get-together. Zorato finds Zola. Ahead of him is Brolin. The tackle, though, by Desai, who got a little bit shaken out of his stride last week, Desai, by Napoli, who really gave it a go. And they closed him down very quickly. Simone. Tassotti helping out. Now Albertini. As ever, such a vibrant figure for Milan. Now Laudrup, can he get his cross in from here? Well, it was out of play.
Gee, that was close. I'm going to say this, the linesman was right there on the spot with Brian Laudrup, but it didn't look to us as though it had crossed the line.
Well, Benarivo certainly thought it was over the line and almost held back, so he and the linesman were in total accord there, but it was marginal. Here's Minotti then for Parma. Apolloni. Here's Kripa. Maltagliati, who came from a semi-professional side to join Parma, getting a fairly rare start in the senior side here. I don't think that was over the line. That's a free kick for handball.
Yeah, well, he made his own decision there. He thought it was after a throw-in, so he went to pick the ball up. Then the linesman didn't dip it, and he didn't know what to do.
He was a bit unlucky there, Maltagliati. Now, Tassotti for Milan. Tassotti, who's giving up Panucci again today. The two have been swapping positions in recent matches. One on the bench, one in the team. So many options, of course, open to coach Fabio Capello. On by Kripa. Now here's a test for Apolloni. Simone with Massaro herring forward. Well, it was a poor shot in the end from Massaro. No wonder he is looking aghast. He was clean through then.
He's got his eyes closed there, Peter. He's saying, how the hell did I miss that one? I mean, Simone did ever so well there. He backed into the defenders, turned them, laid it on for Massaro, and he got all the goal to himself.
Excellent work by Simone to set him up. This is Maldini. Baresi, the player, down. I think he's okay though. Battle-hardened defender Franco Baresi. This is Maldini. On his 50th cap for the Italians in the match against Germany. And this at the age of 25. He's already had an extraordinarily successful career. His 10th season in Milan's first team. Incredible to think. In his mid-20s. Difficult ball for Minotti to deal with. There's Benarivo away. Now to Sotti. Put in from Zerato. Play on, says the referee. Massaro with a shooting chance. And flicked away by Bucci, who found it too hot to handle.
Good thinking though, Peter. Got the ball on the edge of the box, and normally you'd expect him to blast it from there. He picked his head up, saw the goalkeeper's off his line, and tried that chip just inside the far post.
Desai has come up, out by Minotti, and here's Belleri. Most of the early threat then has come from Milan. What can Parma build here? Zola. Albertini. Losing out though to Zerato. And here's Minotti for Parma. Zerato again. He's only started 3 games in the last couple of months, Zerato, with Peen having done so well in the side. Zola, good running by him. But up against the old warhorse there, Mauro Tassotti. Still very much a part of the Milan setup at the age of 34, Tassotti. And now Brolin has been caught offside.
Yeah, again, if he goes too early, they just hold the edge of the box, and he'll go offside. It'd be interesting for Thomas Brolin. Obviously, he's been playing mainly kind of deep of Asprilla, and he's playing frontman today up with Zola. How well he can do in that position. He is used to it because he plays that way for Sweden, but he hasn't played that way for Parma.
It's a foul on Brolin. Well, I'm sure with Asprilla not available for the second leg of the European Cup Winners' Cup semi-final, Nevio Scala would have wanted to take up the option of Melli, but he's out injured, and I'm told won't be available either. So that's why he's trying out today Brolin and Zola as a combination. Maltagliati almost caught out then as he was confronted by Donadoni. Maldini with a header. This is Donadoni. Sensini and Zerato between them win it back, but now it's Massaro. Got Simone ahead of him. And Apolloni quite clearly then obstructed Massaro.
Yeah, that was a block on the 1-2. He's played it into Simone Massaro. He wants to run, and there he goes across Apolloni and blocks his run. That really should be a booking.
It was a very cynical challenge then by Apolloni, and I think he's lucky that the referee has been lenient. But a chance here for Milan. Albertini, who struck a post from this kind of distance the other night in the European Cup game against Anderlecht. Maybe a bit closer. Let's see what they can do here. Donadoni is there as well. Maldini in the wall. There's Albertini, shot! And Bucci fists it away, taking no risks with that one. Venomous drive by Albertini.
Yeah, and Bucci's going, he's waving his arm backwards and forwards to his defender enough to say that ball went everywhere. It must have bent around in the air, obviously.
Maldini got his cross in. Wasn't the best of clearances by Menotti. Simone's challenge, and Bucci holds on. But it was a rasping free kick by Albertini, who hasn't scored now since November. The last of his 3 goals was against Napoli. Now Desai. Apolloni was there first, laid off then by Brolin. Sensini away from Albertini's tackle. Still Sensini, that's good work by him. Now Crippa. And there's Costa Curta. Massaro trying to shake off Nathaliati. Apolloni to Benarivo.
Massaro's trying to play deep in midfield. He's coming deeper than Simone. He's trying to help out because they are outnumbered in midfield, Milan. I mean, they've only got Desai and Albertini, so Massaro every now and again has to come back and help out.
Zerato. A very congested midfield from Parma's point of view. Now Brolin is onside here. In towards Zola, and Costa Curta was covering. Just as well for Rossi that he was.
Yes, he was. Costa Curta made a bad mistake on playing offside there. He ran up too late. The ball had been played. But Thomas Brolin definitely wasn't offside. And he's through, and really he's only got Rossi to beat. Well, he ought to have done better, Peter.
They don't often get it wrong at the back, Milan, but they did that time. Now here's the corner. Belleri. Zorato to Menotti. 25 minutes gone, no score. The best of the early chances falling to Milan. Just once or twice now, Parma have suggested they might threaten something as well. Zorato. Mantaliati lets it run on though to Belleri. Now Zorato. Seeking out Brolin. And again, the experience of Tassotti very much to the fore. Laudrup. Showed too much of that of Zorato and then went right through him. His frustration was showing then, Brian Laudrup. He hasn't really got into the game so far. Zorato, that was casual though. Massaro to Baresi. All very tight in there. It's Albertini for Milan. He's got Simone ahead of him. And he was clever then, was he, by Menotti? He is so quick, Simone, and Menotti went in rather recklessly. Bit of a yellow card for Menotti.
Well, Simone was looking as though he was going to come out the turn and get on his way. And I don't know whether it was really intentional with Menotti, but it was very important that he did bring Simone down, because I think Simone was in.
Menotti, who is regarded now in the Italian squad as the cover really for Baresi and Costa Curta. So he'll be hoping to do well today in their company. Indeed, he did play a part of the game anyway in the recent game against the Germans. Albertini with the free kick. Away by Apolloni. Sensini was the most determined player. Valeri, Zola taking over. Flicked on then to Valeri. And another perfectly timed tackle from Baresi, although it has left him somewhat distraught. But it's his reading of the game that's so impressive, Don.
Yeah, well, that's what I say. He's not only got terrific pace, but he does read it well. He just gets tackled as he's intercepting the ball there. I think Valeri put his foot in on him. I mean, Parma have got it and they're knocking it around in midfield. Rightly so, because they are outnumbering Milan in midfield. I mean, Milan really, they've got the wingers tucking in, but really it's only Albertini and Desai in midfield.
Now Massaro touched off to Laudrup, just took it too far though, and allowed Menotti to get in with the tackle. Now the whistle's gone. Menotti, the player down. Menotti, who scored his fourth goal in Serie A last week, fourth goal of the season, in the 2-1 win over Atalanta. And he is very dangerous on set pieces. Fabio Capello, his team on the verge of yet another title.
He's thinking deeply, Peter. He's looking at his team. There's the tackle or the challenge again from Brian Laudrup on Menotti, just when to cross his left ankle.
Benarivo. Apolloni with the pass, and he's found Sensini. Parma, remember, fourth in the table, 2 points behind Sampdoria and 9 behind Milan. Parma do have a game in hand. Valeri with the cross, just too long for Zola, who is being anxiously watched by Tassotti. He doesn't have too many bad games, Tassotti.
He's a good player, and that's why Panucci can't get in the side, Peter.
Here's the corner. Far too close, though, to Rossi. Giant figure in the Milan goal.
Obviously, Tassotti's got a lot of experience, but he's still a good player. He defends very well. He defends on crosses well. When he gets forward, he uses the ball well. Massaro.
Again, striking from deep, and he's hit Simone. It's not a bad effort either, which might have embarrassed a lesser goalkeeper than Luca Bucci.
Yeah, but what a lovely diagonal ball that was out to Simone. Wonderful crossfield pass.
Now Laudrup. Benarivo is also pretty quick, so it's quite a battle down this Milan right. And there's Simone again, superbly picked out by Massaro, and Bucci makes the save. Now here's Laudrup. Laudrup's inclusion today means no place for Lentini, who's on the bench, having come back last week for his first start since the car crash at the beginning of the season. Now Rossi collects the back pass from Baresi without too much trouble this time. Baresi almost nonchalantly up towards Massaro. Seems to stroll through matches, Baresi, but he has so much pace, and it comes so naturally to him, whether he's defending or starting his team on their way going forward. Kripa. Parma with a lot of possession. Haven't really turned it to much good use, though. Certainly not in terms of chances created.
Well, they won't mind Milan. The square ball's at the back. Milan won't worry about that.
Massaro. Headed by Donadoni. Valeri, though, wins it back. Now on from Sensini. Zola's flick. He's found Zerato. Brolin. And asking a great deal there of Valeri.
The crowd always react to those Rossi kickouts. Even the crowd don't like it. They think he ought to do better.
Not quite sure what they were expecting him to do there. Desai. Zerato, but no, the whistle's gone. Free kick to Milan. I mean, you see so many embarrassing mistakes by goalkeepers in that kind of situation that you can't blame him for just kicking it out, surely.
It's got to be safety first.
Kripa. Zerato slides it on. Now Brolin. He's got Zola up with him. Movement ahead from Brolin. This is Kripa. Milan pushing up, looking for the offside. They didn't get it though. Brolin's chip. And Zola. Back across the goal, and Brolin very nearly squeezed it in. And there we saw the menace of Gianfranco Zola. And at last Milan were extended at the back.
Well, there he is. He gets that ball across the face of the goal. And Brolin comes in. And under challenge from Costa Corta, he just couldn't get it on the target. But they made a mess of it at the offside, didn't they? They tried to play offside on Brolin. It wasn't offside. They got it across to Zola, and he was in. And he did the right thing. He pulled it across the 6-yard box. And Brolin was just a little bit short. But he was under challenge from Costa Corta.
Very encouraging for Parma at the end of the first half. That will certainly lift them in readiness for the second period. Tassotti now. Foul by Kripa. Menotti. Baresi. Now Desai finds Donadoni. Almost into injury time. Massaro's out wide, so too here is Maldini. Donadoni has continued his run, picks it up now. Good work by Donadoni. Laudrup let it run, well, at least didn't challenge for it. Now Simone. Albertini. Baresi underneath this one. Into time added on for stoppages. And the latest one is for a free kick to Milan.
You do tend to think if they can get it to the flanks, Milan, you know, if they can get it to Donadoni and if they get it to Brian Laudrup, get them good possession, they could price things open. And I just feel for Parma, the more they get it to Zola, the more they're going to create chances as well.
Menotti. Apolloni. Looking for the run of Brolin. That was out of play, though.
He's worked hard up from Brolin, but he hasn't got Asparilla's pace or power, has he? You know, he's quite clever, and he shows and he knocks it back, but he hasn't got the pace, you know, and that's always a threat for defenders. Someone like Asparilla, he's just got this fantastic pace. He can get past defenders and get himself in.
Well, they've got him on the bench. Maybe we'll see him in the second half. No goals here, nor in the other matches featuring the top sides. Cremonese 0, Sampdoria 0, and Juventus 0, Inter 0. And if it stays that way, well, the title won't be settled this afternoon. Zerato. Out wide is Belleri. Zerato, who's settled back well in the side today on his return.
He's had a very good first half, Zerato. He looks like Zola a lot of the time, the way he plays.
Here's Zola now, trying to set himself up for the shot. He's done that superbly. And the tall figure of Rossi just plucks it out of the sky, but it was fine work by Zola. And they have looked more promising in the last few minutes, Parma. No goals, though, so far in the San Siro. Milan with the best of the earlier chances. Donadoni is ever very much involved in Milan's attacking play. Massaro's had a good chance. But Scala's team holding on at half-time. Milan 0, Parma 0. We'll be back after the break. Brackley is going to come on for Milan in the second half. The Romanian international who featured in the European game in midweek. No sign as yet for Parma of Asprilla coming on, but there is number 16, Florin Radicchio. So a switch being made by Milan. We're just looking around to see who's not come out for the second half. Presumably one of the front players, Massaro or Simone. As referee Bongi gets the second half underway. Parma now kicking from left to right. And had that good chance for Brolin towards half-time to lift their morale. Yeah, Simone hasn't come on, so it's a striker for a striker. Massaro now partnered up front by Radicchio. Sbenarivo for Parma. Any thoughts on that swap, Don?
Well, I'll say this, Radicchio is very, very quick. I don't know whether Simone took a knock.
It's Belleri's cross in, dealt with though by Costa Curta. Confirmation there that Radicchio has replaced Simone. Yeah, he got one or two knocks in the first half, actually. I remember a facial injury too early on.
Yes, he had the train on a couple of times, Peter.
Anyway, here's Zola now then for Parma. Hoping his trickery can unlock this Milan defence. Sensini now, wide is Belleri. In goes Brolin. And away by Desai. Laudrup. And a foul by Benarivo. Radicchio doesn't get too many chances in the Milan side because of the overseas ruling. But Savicevic is out injured. Papan out of favour. So there's an opportunity now for Radicchio.
Sorry, Peter. What this game needs is a goal. Definitely wants a goal. It needs just to give it that little bit of a lift.
Donadoni finding Radicchio. Threaded wide then by Desai to Sotti, then Zarato with the interception for Parma. Now, Laudrup in for Tossotti and Massaro. Spectacular effort then by Massaro. His confidence is so high. He missed that good chance in the first half, and he's clearly determined to get his name on the score sheet again.
Well, a nice right-wing attack. Started by Tossotti. Give it to Laudrup. He give it back to Tossotti. It bounced, difficult there for Massaro. It was worth the overhead kick.
Costa Curta to hook it back again. Then Benotti's header, and he's playing with a fractured nose. Benotti, an injury sustained in the game last weekend. And he actually wore a cast on the nose for the European game in the week. He's discarded that today, so presumably it's feeling a bit better. This is Benotti now. Headed by Tossotti, who's not wearing a cast on his nose, but it's rather a large one all the same. It's a Roman nose. Clipper has been penalised. Massaro is such a favourite for the Milan fans, and rightly so. And he really is having a marvellous campaign. Now, Maldini. Radicchio. Donadoni. Desai. Let run on for Massaro. Apolloni very quick in the tackle, but it was an unfair one. Albertini with the free kick. Costa Curta out wide again to Sotti. Now Laudrup. Caught by Benarivo's challenge.
Yeah, Benarivo sent the linesman. Hey, I got my foot to that ball, and I thought he got his foot on the ball as well. The linesman, and he was close to it, obviously. He saw it differently to us.
Well, he's decided that he toppled his man there. Here's Laudrup taking on Benarivo. Milan corner. Well, we saw the zip of Brian Laudrup there, almost exposing Benarivo, who was very unhappy in the first place that the free kick had been given. Desai is forward again. Massaro!
They're lovely corners, those corners from Donadoni. Just swings them away from the keeper. They just go past the penalty spot.
There's still no sign of the first goal. Belleri. Sign from Cosenza back in the summer. Baresi with the header. Now Zola to Sensini. It's a fine run by Belleri, not a bad crossing either, which Brolin was almost on the end of. Here's Brolin again. Closed down though by Costa Curta. And away comes Donadoni to Massaro. And again Milan closing ranks at the back so well. Ranachoyu. Now Baresi, Ranachoyu again. Well, he's certainly showing an appetite for the game, but showing too much of it there for the referee's liking. Ranachoyu, who was the top scorer among the European players in the qualifying rounds of the World Cup for the Romanian team. One more than Ian Rush.
I always think when Ranachoyu gets on the ball, if he can make a good decision on how far to go with the ball, he's quite clever with the ball, and he can beat defenders, but sometimes he overruns it.
Now, something developing here maybe. Zola. Rossi got it away. He's getting some stick from the crowd today, Rossi.
I think he's giving the crowd kittens, I tell you.
Baresi with Sensini now. Costa Curta. You wouldn't like to come up against these two every week, Baresi and Costa Curta. They give so little away. Zola now. Here's Baresi. Apolloni. Palmer looking to dictate things a little. Whistles from the Milan fans who are not too impressed with their team's display at the moment. 0-0 against Anderlecht in the week. And now they've got a real struggle on against Parma, who've won here on their last two visits. Montaliati. Minotti. Here's Donadoni, now then to Desai. To Sotti in space away on the right. Laudrup ahead of him. This is Laudrup now. He's going for goal. Great run by Laudrup. Now can he finish? Well, it was Sensini who denied him in the end. But that was more like the Brian Laudrup we've seen so often in the past.
He's got super ability. He really has. I mean, the time there where, as he went on his dribble, the ball went from left foot to right foot to left foot to right foot, and he's beating defenders as he's going through. He just overran it a little bit into the box.
Apolloni to Benarivo. This is Kripa. Now Zerato on for Sensini. He was hurried there though. So was Desai with his forward pass. Zerato again. Kripa. Two teams who enjoy passing the ball around, but without any real cutting edge so far. Now Belleri away down the right. Here's an opportunity for Parma. And some uncertainty at the back from Milan. There was no one really pressing them though from Parma.
There was nobody in the box, was there? I mean, it was a super run by the right back. but you didn't see the white shirts in the box.
Well, they've posted some forward now, including Menotti, who's in the 6-yard box. Zola's corner with Kripa. Zola. And I think there's a flag up for offside, maybe Brolin.
Yes, offside, Peter. You know, they move out so quickly on all set pieces. Once the ball gets played out the box, then they'll get to the edge of the box as quick as they can.
On by Donadoni. Ranachoyu. Well, the crowd are getting very frustrated now. I think wanting a little more urgency from both sides, certainly from their own Milan team. Valeri. Away by Baresi. Desai. Now to Sotti. Masaru. Ranachoyu. Excellent covering by Benarivo. And again, the defender was the sharper of the two.
Yeah, he was ready. He was too ready to take a dive. Radichua there. He should have gone on. He should have gone in that box stronger. I mean, Benarivo got back quite quickly, but he could have gone on. Radichua, he could have gone right deep into that box.
Laudrup skipping past the tackles. Desai. Here's Donadoni. Prodded on by Sensini for Valeri to chase again down this right flank. He's done that on a couple of occasions to good effect in the second half. Sensini. Now Zola. Here's Kripa. Kripa lining up the shot, which was charged down. He was a shade too optimistic there, surely. Baresi now. He'll look for the run of Ranachoyu. So too was Benarivo. Now Sprilia about to make his entrance. So hopefully this will liven things up. Sensini. It will certainly pose an extra problem or two for the Milan defence, with his extraordinary pace and class finishing. Can be a mite selfish sometimes, says Sprilia, but there's no doubt about the man's talent.
Well, we're not surprised, are we? I mean, Brolin really, as a front player, hasn't done the job.
And that one good chance, didn't he, towards the end of the first half, but nothing else really has gone right for him.
There's a couple of crosses come in the box as well that he would have got quicker too, and he never got there. Well, I've got to say this, I mean, AC Milan, I mean, there's no sign of adventure from them. I mean, occasionally Tassotti goes forward. We haven't seen Maldini forward at all. I mean, he sat at home all afternoon, Maldini. He hasn't got down this left flank at all as attacking fullback. Tassotti occasionally has got forward. Baresi's come out into midfield a couple of times. But their general play, I mean, Milan has been very stereotyped and ordinary. I mean, you can see why they don't play with a sense of adventure, Milan, anymore. You can understand why they don't score goals.
Well, they're trying to here, but again, it all comes to nothing. Menotti's header away. Maldini. Milan free kick.
And you tend to think that the front players have got to do it all by themselves. I mean, Radichui's come on, and he's been very frustrated. He's tried, I've got to say that, and more times than not, whatever he's tried hasn't come off. So he looks as though he's not having a very good game. But he's having to do it by himself.
Desai. This is Tassotti. It's a foul on Laudrup by Benarivo.
I mean, you never get never get any runs from midfield. You never see Desai going on a run or Albertini going on a run and going past the front players for through balls. You know, it is a very stereotyped way of playing. It's effective, but they need a little bit more than this, no doubt about it.
Well, it's effective that they don't lose too often, that's for sure. Only 2 defeats all season, Milan. But I don't think this team is going to go down as a memorable one. You have to say that. Not in the way that they were champions certainly 2 seasons ago, and perhaps to a lesser extent last season. Albertini. It was Sensini, though, who got his foot in first. Benarivo, who's been cautioned, along with his teammate Menotti in the first half. Palmer now with a Sprilia on for Brolin, who in fairness did pick up an injury as well early on in the first half, which certainly hampered him. But having said that, they weren't exposed really at the back, Milan, not very often anyway, when Brolin was playing up front alongside Zola. Now Belleri. Albertini to Desai. Now Costa Curta. Looking for the run of Ronachoyu. And that's expert goalkeeping by Bucci. Very alert to the possibilities.
He's right on form, is Bucci, Peter. I mean, he was outstanding against Benfica in Europe in the week.
Well, he's still vying for the 3rd place in the Italian World Cup score, but seems to be behind Peruzzi of Juventus. But Nevio Scala, I know, has been having words with Arrigo Sacchi, saying that he's your man. Luca Bucci. Ahead of him, of course, Pagliuca of Sampdoria, and the Lazio goalkeeper, Luca Marcogiani. Asprilla. Booking for Albertini.
Well, he's an aggressive midfield player. He wants to win the ball back. He wants to put his foot in. And obviously every now and again he contacts the opposition. And the referee's saying to him, I know what you did. I've got you.
Sensini to Asprilla. Careless pass though by him. This is Desai. And Desai certainly looking the stronger of the 2. Although Asprilla has been working hard to build up his bulk. Been adjudged the offender here.
And rightly so, he did. He pushed Donadoni away from the ball. You're not allowed to that. You can shield it. You can't stop Donadoni having to go for the ball. And when Donadoni challenged for the ball, he pushed him away. He pushed him off the... Actually, pushed him over the touchline.
Can't really see what he's complaining about. Bit of an experience maybe from Belleri. Now, is this going to be a test for Bucci and co? It's gone in, Massaro! Well, it's that man again. It flashed into the back of the net. Massaro was the most decisive on the cross.
How does he do it, Peter? I mean, the ball came in, it was crowded in there. He'd got a defender, virtually challenged him. He puts his foot across the defender and guides it onto the target. I think it's Sensini who challenges in the air because it's a low ball. He puts his foot around him, knocks it on the target, and it's in the net.
And it's bounced away from Bucci and right into the corner. Massaro, his 11th goal in Serie A this season. That's his highest tally now in a top-flight campaign. And he's given his team the lead on 72 minutes with another valuable goal as Milan edge their way towards a 3rd successive Scudetto.
More times than not these days, all these big games, you know, the winning goal or the goals always
goals come from set pieces.
Well, they do seem to win so many games by just a single goal margin. And unless Parma can pull out a trick or two, it's going to be the same case again today. They don't surrender leads too often. Zola trying to force his way through. That's Laudrup back defending. Benarivo now. This is Asprilla. Manotti's come up from the back. Good tackle, though, by Costa Curta. He's had his critics in recent seasons, Costa Curta, but he has developed now into an outstanding defender. It's so consistent. Donadoni drifting past Sensini and Belleri. Desai to Laudrup. Now Desai. And it was the goalkeeper Bucci to the rescue again. Desai. Tank finish, but such determination from him. And it was Ranachoyu who almost lead the path to goal.
Yeah, he was definitely in, Peter, and the keeper did well. Bucci came out and spread himself.
But once again, it's a goal from Masaru, and has been the saviour of Milan. Tassotti. Laudrup. Off goes Tassotti again. He's got some space to work in here. Masaru ahead of him, and Ranachoyu. Masaru's pulled into the middle now. And they've forced a corner. It could have been more serious for Parma.
Super build-up down that right side. Tassotti and also Laudrup. It's amazing what a goal does for a side. They seem to grow in confidence immediately.
Donadoni will take the corner. Milan's fifth of the game. Maldini is forward. No chance of reaching him, though. Asprilla. And it was handled, was it by Desai? No. He's found Masaru. Good vision shown there by the Frenchman. Desai again crunching into the tackle, and again. Asprilla away from Maldini. Now there's danger for Milan here. Well, there was until Maldini again showed his defensive qualities to deny Asprilla. Laudrup. That's great play. Donadoni. This is more like it from Milan now. Donadoni shot. Well, this is Milan showing their enterprise at last.
Yeah, they're definitely getting it together, Peter. Some lovely little combinations now.
Benarivo for Parma. Zola ahead of him. Still Zola. And Costa Curta, as ever, sticking to his task. And making it so difficult for Zola to set something up, maybe for Asprilla, who was waiting in the middle. Now Manotti is up from the back. And Maltagliati. Masaru. Showing he can do his job at both ends. Ranachoyu. Support from Tassotti and Laudrup. And the angle pass picking out Masaru, who has covered so much ground again today for Milan. Donadoni, likewise. Desai. This is Kripa. Zola. Jinking skill. But he can't get past. It's Desai. Albertini now. Parma maybe leaving one or two gaps at the back as they push forward. They've got to try for something now to save the game. Massaro. Desai. Laudrup with Tassotti. Now Donadoni. Renachoyu in the middle. Renachoyu is a good turn. And maybe deserve better reward.
They are getting it together now. They're getting the play down one side, switching it quickly to the other side, and knocking it about. They got Radichui in there, and he worked himself a shooting position. Mainly back onto this right foot. Tried to bend it inside the far post.
And with 10 minutes to go, Parma trailed by a goal to nil, and it's Sensini to Menotti. Little touch off by Asprilla to Zola. Kripar over the bar. Watched by Savicevic, the Milan player who's not in the side today because of injury. Angelo Carbone is now coming on for Milan, as he did in the European Cup game in the week. Well, Brian Laudrup going off and getting a warm reception from the crowd. His game certainly picked up after the break, and he got an injury a couple of minutes ago, so Carbone comes on. As Milan look to defend their slender lead, something they have done so often this season. They haven't managed to score more than 2 goals, incidentally, in any match in Serie A. Benarivo's cross. A tangle between Sensini and Donadoni.
I think Sensini was offside in the first place as the cross came in.
He's given a penalty. Well, let's have another look at this here. That certainly seemed an astonishing decision. Sensini got ahead of Donadoni, and well, the referee has ruled that Donadoni hauled him down.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, they were both in the back post, and Sensini was virtually goal side of Donadoni, and Sensini backs in, and Donadoni can't. As he backs in, he hits him, and they both fall over. That's an amazing decision.
Just over 6 minutes to go, and Zola has the chance to equalise then for Parma, right out of the blue, with Donadoni penalised. Zola trying to stay calm amidst the bedlam around the stadium, and he tucks it away in style. Yeah, I think the look on the face of Capello says it all. It looked a harsh decision, but Zola wasn't worried about that. And he's made it 1-1. His 17th goal of the season.
Well, there goes the decision. I mean,
it was an untidy challenge, yeah. You have to say that.
Sensini was just backing into Donadoni. Donadoni was trying to get to the ball. And there's a collision between two bodies, and over he goes, Sensini.
Well, delight for the Parma fans out in force this afternoon. Perfectly placed kick then by Zola.
Just scrapes the post as it goes in. No chance for Rossi.
Well, it certainly was an awkward challenge by Donadoni. But Sensini showing his experience to win the penalty kick and convince the referee that it was a foul. Albertini. Albertini to Desai. To Sotti. Benarivo suddenly and somewhat theatrically dives to the ground.
I think as Tassotti plays the ball down the line, Peter, Carbone changes his position and decides to go wide, and he ran into the back of Benarivo.
Well, there's Carbone going down, and Benarivo Or maybe he was just making sure that the ball had gone out first. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
It's a little bit dramatic, isn't it?
Anyway, he'll carry on now. And he has the ball. Kripa to Zerato. Valeri under threat from Massaro, whose determination won it back again. Albertini. Carbone. Ranaccio. Tassotti, 2 minutes left. Albertini. Now Massaro. Donadoni. The championship certainly won't be settled today. Juventus, I'm hearing, have scored now against Inter. Baggio with his 17th of the season. Same tally as Zola. Albertini. Parma back on the defensive now. I think they'll settle for this. Rather negative approach at times from both teams. You could certainly argue that Parma were leaving out Asprilla from the start. Although Scala did have his reasons with the Columbia not available for the European Cup Winners' Cup semi-final second leg. Almost into injury time.
I think that's going to be a problem for Parma when they do play in their next European game, is who they're going to play up front. Obviously, with Asprilla suspended, they need to find someone who does his job.
Can't play Melli, as we've said earlier, because of injury. So this may be his only option to play Brolin. And he can't look on this as a success, because it certainly wasn't. Zorato to Asprilla. I wouldn't think either team will be too adventurous now. They won't want to give it away. Not at this late stage. Asprilla. Desai to Massaro. There's the final whistle. And Parma have got their draw. Having gone behind to Massaro's goal on 72 minutes. The equaliser came by the penalty spot from Zola on 83. And to sum up, Don, how you would put that down as just about the right result then over the 90 minutes?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah. A very ordinary game from two outstanding teams from Italy, and yet the game in itself was very ordinary. Not enough goal-scoring chances being made. You see there, Capello, he's having a right go at Brian Laudrup. I think he's saying to him, son, believe in yourself, you could be a real top-class player.
So there we are, a game that never really quite lived up to expectations. The final score in the San Siro is Milan 1, Parma 1. And we'll be back after the break with action and results from elsewhere in Serie A. So join us again in a couple of minutes' time.
Welcome back to the San Siro. Well, first of all, just to apologise if at the start of the programme we gave you the impression that that was going to be the match of the century. Obviously, it didn't quite live up to our expectations. But anyway, 2 goals, not too bad. 1 apiece. Milan 1, Parma 1. And in a minute or two, we're going to be checking up with all the results from today's action in Serie A, and indeed looking at some of the highlights as well. Right now, though, time to reflect back at some of the finer moments, some of the more crucial moments of our main game, Milan against Parma, in the company of our commentary team, Don Howe and Peter Brackley.
Well, with defences generally on top, it did seem that we weren't going to get a goal at all today. And then at last, on 72 minutes, a goal for Milan from Daniele Massaro.
And there's the free kick, crossed in by Donadoni. He does ever so well, Massaro. Sensini, the defender, tries to get his head to it. Massaro wraps his foot around Sensini, gets his foot there and just gets it onto the target. It's a wonderful opportunist goal.
Well, it was Sensini who was then involved in the equaliser for Parma 7 minutes from time. Donadoni clashing here with Sensini. We felt before that, Don, that Sensini was offside.
Sensini was definitely offside, and as the ball comes over, he backs into Donadoni. And then obviously the referee gives a penalty.
And here it is, taken by Zola for his 17th goal of the season to make it 1-1. We'll now look at one or two of the other highlights from this afternoon. This was the Juventus Inter-match, known as the Derby of Italy. Davide Fontelan denied a chance there. Now this was Ravanelli at the other end. And just chucked wide by Walter Zenga. Andy Merler then extended the goalkeeper as he scooped the ball away after a deflected cross there. Well, Roberto Baggio brought the first half to a close with this free kick. Again, splendid defiance by Zenga. Well, Inter had the ball in the net in the second half, but Ruben Sosa, the Uruguayan international, was adjudged to be offside. It's Bergami who strikes the post, and the flag was already up for offside against Sosa. With 6 minutes left, Roberto Baggio's free kick was diverted into his own net by Riccardo Ferri to give Juventus both points. 1-0 to Juventus, the final score. Well, at Cremona, the home side made it a tough afternoon's work for Sampdoria. And here, Tentoni will feel he should have done better. Sampdoria's only real chance fell to England's David Platt. That in the first half. But he couldn't accept the opportunity, and the match finished without a goal. Cremonese 0, Sampdoria 0. Well, David's England colleague Paul Gascoigne played for Lazio away to Genoa. But it was the home side who opened the scoring early in the second half, and this was a goal from Onorati. After some frantic defending by Lazio, failed to stop him from scoring. It took Lazio just 4 minutes, though, to draw level, and yet another goal from Giuseppe Signori. This was his 17th of the season, past Tacconi. 1-1, the final score, and Paul Gascoigne made it to the end. So now a check on the other scores this afternoon. Atalanta 1, Udinese 1. Battistini an own goal there for Atalanta just before half-time. Borgonovo with the equaliser for Udinese on 78 minutes. Foggia 1, Piacenza 0. Giovanni Stroppa with the winner in the first half. He also missed a penalty. Lecce 1, Torino 2. Baldieri for Lecce. He missed a penalty as well, saved by Galli. Torino's goals from Venturin and a penalty from Silenzi. Reggiana 1, Napoli 0. Padovano with a 69th minute penalty. Earned Reggiana both points there. And Roma 2, Cagliari 0. A vital win that for Roma. Goals from Rizzatelli on 4 minutes and Balbo just after an hour play. So at the top of Serie A, Milan's lead is cut to 6 points by Juventus, with Sampdoria a further point adrift, and Parma still 9 behind Milan. Top scorers, Zola and Signori both scored today. They're now on 17. Roberto Baggio and Silenzi on 16. And that's it for today, but more Italian football, of course, next Saturday morning. Paul Gascoigne and David Platt with Gazzetta at 11 o'clock. And we're back with another live game next Sunday afternoon at 2:45. But for now, from my colleague Don Howe and myself, Peter Brackley, a very good afternoon to you.
We went behind the scenes.